Today, I am going to explain the movie called Black Adam. Black Adam has risen from his earthly tomb nearly 5,000 years after receiving the vast powers of the Egyptian gods and being imprisoned just as swiftly, and is prepared to wreak his particular brand of justice on the contemporary world. Unfortunately, he's not the only remnant of the past. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson also appears as a titan from ancient times who bursts into the present with a savage attitude and a ton of brilliant lightning effects. The Dark Knight and Iron Man have taught Hollywood a few things, but this entire movie feels like it belongs from a few decades ago, before the superhero movie boom. The film puts too much emphasis on spectacle at the expense of character and plot. The villain is one-dimensional, and there is much exposition. Because of the Justice Society, Black Adam occasionally has brilliant moments, but as a whole, it is unsatisfying. Without a doubt, it started out with a lot of potential. The JSA run with Black Adam, which showed how his brutal sense of justice caused even the most upright heroes to reassess the borders between right and wrong, is one of DC's greatest comic book runs. Despite not being a direct adaptation, this film aims to embrace the themes that made those comics so amazing. Consequently, superhero morality is the book's main focus. There is a lot of debate about good and evil, generosity versus murder, and heroes and villains, but the debate quickly devolves into a confused mess of cliches. By the end, it's hard to discern who takes which positions and why. Johnson plays Black Adam as an apparently heartless murdering machine that gains some humanity. And even humor, much like Arnold Schwarzenegger did in Terminator 2. Black Adam comes out as a touch too confident and forceful, despite the fact that he deserves kudos for crafting a figure that is equally as threatening and steely as in the comics. Despite the fact that there are likely more levels to be found, this makes him seem one-note. His main foe in his merciless strategies is Justice Society member Hawkman, played by Aldis Hodge. The seasoned hero is a sight to behold with his shimmering wings and charged mace, but his character feels appallingly underdeveloped. Hawkman has one of the most notoriously complicated backstories in all of comics. So it makes sense that the writers wouldn't go too far into the mythology of alien reincarnation in another character's movie. However, he could have at the very least benefited from having a foundation for his strong beliefs regarding enforcing justice with compassion. Instead, Hawkman is frequently employed as a literal and symbolic punching bag. He spends the majority of his time on screen getting kicked in the bird, but while the remaining time is spent trying to get Black Adam to act more bravely. Due to the morally reprehensible genius he chooses to support, Hawkman unknowingly develops a hypocritical persona, and he is also left speechless when asked by the people of a war-torn nation why his band of pretend heroes didn't show up to defend them. It's also difficult to take Black Adam and Hawkman's debate over whether it's appropriate for heroes to kill villains seriously, because the movie frequently makes fun of Black Adam's outrageously brutal murder techniques, and because the DCEU is a place where we've already witnessed top heroes like Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman take lives. The Justice Society's other members experience ups and downs. As Dr. Fate, Pierce Brosnan gives an endearing and enigmatic performance, but the script tries to do too much with him without giving him enough of their 2 hours of screen time to merit it. The squad enlists Atom Smasher and Cyclone to assist fight Black Adam, and Noah Centineo and Quintessa Swindell show immediate chemistry as two rising young heroes, but they don't really advance the plot. That's unfortunate, especially for Centineo, because his Atom Smasher is the group's most sincere and amusing hero. The majority of the time is spent by the others revealing their backstory or the MacGuffin. Black Adam feels both packed and underdeveloped since he has a bit too much going on. It bites off more than it can chew when it tries to squeeze the origin of its main character, 4 Justice Society members, 3 likable human characters, and a villain for them to fight into one movie. One can't help but feel that most of these factors were overlooked in favor of the relentless barrage of action scenes. Please don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with a superhero movie primarily being an action movie, especially if it has a Superman-caliber character. But it becomes monotonous when Black Adam repeatedly performs PG-13 Mortal Kombat fatalities on anonymous goons, repeating the same motion. After approximately the 4th scene of him slaying dozens of villains who had no chance, I started to question why a sort of Black Adam kryptonite had been introduced in the first act, but none of the evil people later thought to use it against him. It would have at least been a little more interesting if he had been up against someone he couldn't effortlessly snap in half. The Justice Society can be seen in a lot of action scenes. Cyclone's breathtaking twisters are especially fun to behold because they add some much-needed color to the scene. Dr. Fate's abilities in Avengers: Infinity War mimic those of Marvel's Doctor Strange a little too much, so it's a shame they didn't give her a more distinctive visual identity. Additionally, it must be pointed out how odd it is that this Black Adam movie frequently refers to Superman as a rival despite the fact that the two characters are intimately linked and have the same ability, transformation phrase, and lightning bolt emblem. That's a rather intriguing choice, especially in light of the upcoming release of a second Shazam movie, and the absence of Superman in 2017's Justice League. When Black Adam indulges to such a degree, it can be difficult to enjoy the DC anti-debut heroes. Its rushed explanation of what it means to be a hero is lost in the cacophony of its overdone action scenes and undeveloped characters. Black Adam makes several tries, but is never successful to locate the lightning spark in a bottle.